All right. All right. There's my audio. What's good? What's good, everyone? I'm Heath Bettag, formerly known as a lot of other things. I've been, for the longest, True Patriot, also known as CC2 Arms. Before all that, in my younger years, it was Lurch, her big bird. What's good, everyone? I don't condone smoking, although I am going to smoke probably a few cigarettes. I'd probably drink me a mixed drink if I had one. I'm going to talk about some deep, dark shit, just so I can say I got it off my chest. And anyway, we'll go from there. I do hope that this stream finds everyone well. I hope that everyone's in good spirits, doing either doing good or doing good at trying to do good. I've had a time of it these last few years. It was weird just trying to even do this stream. I'm so out of practice on YouTube that I didn't know if I was going to be able to start a stream. That's weird because there's been times where I've had 20, 30,000 subscribers at a time. And to be able to get to a point where I can't even remember how to stream, that's kind of odd. Feels weird. Anyway, I hope that audio's coming in okay. I don't really have a way to tell, and I'm going to quit messing with it. For the record, if I was to die right this instant, I hold no hostilities, no grudges, no animosities, and no anger to anyone. That being said, I can't say that I wish I did, but I can say it wouldn't mean a fuck to me if I did. Ugh. Put my chair up here and put some big boy panties on. I come to a realization a few minutes ago. I was in the kitchen and I went to move something. A whole bunch of stuff just attacked me out of everywhere, out of all corners. Yeah? A lot of you, I'm sure, got some experience with this. If you've got mothers that are, we don't say old, well seasoned, mature. Basic deal, like any of us, they'll buy it. Even more so as they get up there in years, it seems. Well, who am I kidding? I'm a pack rat too, But my mom, she'll pile up stuff over every inch of a surface. I tell people that whatever happened when she went wherever she went to allegedly be treated for cancer, what came back wasn't what went in. And food was such an issue that it's like it, like even now, like she would rather have nothing else than see me eat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, just sit there and eat. I really literally believe that within reason, she'd probably damn near do anything to see to it that I could accomplish that feat if I was willing to. But then she's also a Yankee and she's mean and I'm sure she doesn't in her heart of hearts hate me. But my whole life, that's what it's the way it's felt. Uh, I don't single her out. All family has pretty much always made me feel that way. Not just family. I've not really been around much family, but just people in general. So she'll pile this stuff up and I'll knock something over and she'll start cussing me out. The only reason I came to Tennessee was it was twofold. It was I got a chance to reunite with my mother. I also I had the hunch, the hope, based on what I was sold, that I'd possibly get my sister out of a lot worse situation than she would have been in otherwise. So it was a good deal. Just prior to coming to Tennessee, I thought I didn't have a good life, but I had a life. I mean, I was a little gangster. I had a following. I was a mover and shaker. Myself and some close friends and our pot connection. We had just, got this great big old Victorian house in south side of Evansville, Indiana. And what I'm trying to say is that the only reason that I came to Tennessee, I didn't come to piss nobody off. I didn't come to fuck my life up. I thought I was helping people, and in at the same time, I could see what may have went wrong because I hadn't had any family in my life since I was a baby, and it was like, okay, huh. My mom and her story is she's in the Air Force, and she's this, what do you call it, a prodigy, good life. She's in the Air Force. My father, and that's where she meets my father. He's in the Air Force. He's a firefighter. He's in the Aleutian Islands, and so they're doing well. And then all of a sudden, my life's been shit since the fucking beginning. So, what changed for my mom and dad? Well, they had me. Then the next thing you know, my mom, my dad runs off for another woman. Matter of fact, he's got a family and a whole nother marriage and everything with that woman today. He ain't never had nothing to do with me since. Here I am, 5 years old, and I got a little infant sister, and my mom and dad fight all the time. He runs off, and you don't want to blame yourself, but you just keep your eyes open. Next thing you know, I'm in state's custody, and anyway, I digress. The point of the matter is that my life, it's not been good. None of it. My ace in the hole, my hole card, my optimism came from the fact that I was intelligent. I knew even as a toddler that you don't really get to pick your family. Huh. I got a fucked up family on both sides, but you don't get to pick them. But that's okay because at some point I'm gonna be big enough. I'm gonna be able to have kids. I'm gonna be able to have a wife, and I might not know my ass from a hole in the ground. But I tell you what, I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do what my parents did. My kids will never feel like I had to. And as long as all the pain and anguish. And I could tell you some horror stories. The worst ones, believe it or not, was not from the physical and the sexual abuse that I had suffered many times. No, it was the abuse by the church. But anyway, that's another story. I knew that if I could use all that and make certain that I was the best damn father and husband that I could be, my children would get to live that life that I didn't get to. I couldn't make up for all the lost time that I had suffered. I couldn't make up for the pain, the anguish, the pure hell. But it would mean something. My literal death, which is what my life's been. I've been dying since the day I was born. It would mean something. It would have value. So my number one agenda, since I met my first girlfriend, Cheyenne Forston, when I was in, I'm wanting to say third grade, Miss Sherry's class. Anyway, I would have married that girl and lived happily ever after. It didn't work out. Not because I didn't want to. I tried. Every girlfriend I ever dated. It wouldn't matter if a 950-pound fucking damn chick with a beard, 3 legs and 1 arm, that stunk like cabbage and had fucking warts all over showed up my driveway right now. I'd marry her and live happily ever after. The goal's always been the same. Be fruitful and multiply. And the way I always perceived that sentiment was that basically the only way that I would ever truly be fruitful in this world would be if I was able to multiply. Because without the ability to multiply, I'd be alone forever. Despite spending fortunes time and time again, despite going from New York one-ray model to the whole other end of the spectrum, the 550-pound sweat hog that you just, it ain't even something you take home at last call. And none of it works out. When I was a kid, I learned early that the very first people that will lie to you and break your trust, whether you know this or not, mom and dad. I didn't fall for the Santa Claus Easter bunnies. A boy bunny, but he shits out eggs. What's up with that? Or a fat dude in a red furry suit, and if I kiss your ass for the couple months before Christmas, he'll buy me stuff? Now this fat dude's watching me when I'm sleeping, and I got to leave him cookies and milk so he can further watch me while I'm sleeping? And if I kiss your ass, he'll give me presents. Well, that sounds like a fucking pedophile. Anyway, I knew it was bullshit. So if mom and dad's already lying to me when I'm 2, 3, 4 years old, and they're getting the neighbors and the shopkeep and the clerks at the stores and the barber and everybody else in on it, who can I trust? Nobody. I never have. If you were to ask me who I trust the least, that would be myself. If you were to ask me who, beyond myself, who do I trust? Who do I trust, have the least amount of trust for after myself? That would be my family. But I don't trust anyone. I have a devout, strong faith. I'm very spiritually minded. I know that there's a Father, a creator of a sort, at the top of the ladder. But I also know that between myself and that top of the ladder, there's a fucking assortment of all walks of creation. And some can do some really cool magic tricks. If you were to ask me about God, I'd tell you that your limited, narrow-minded perception of God it's one of those things that's somewhere in between. Oh yes, there is someone at the top. But most of us stop learning, stop seeking knowledge, stop seeing the world through the eyes of a child, stop imagining, and all of the truly innate, the truly internal beauty, the true magic, the true symphony of this place. It's lost before we ever even truly experience it. That ego, it'll get you in trouble. You see, that ego is going to teach you that you somehow are able to know everything. No, you cannot know everything, but you'll try. And you don't want to say, you don't know. And plus, we like to have the ability to control others. Nobody likes to admit that fact, but that is a fact. It makes us feel powerful. It makes us feel like, even though we don't know shit, even though we don't know our ass from a hole in the ground, we got people that, running these here people. They they do what we say. We controlling them. We're running them. We must have something figured out. We just don't know it. We don't have proof or confirmation or affirmation, but we do know something. We don't. So man enters into the equation all sorts of things to affirm his position, her position. It's sad, really, because if one wanted to know anything, all they'd have to do is look inside. That their Bible book, Holy Bible, he only left you biblical instruction before leaving earth. Or at least that's what I perceive history or the writ form of his story to be. You got chapter of John, chapter 10, verse 1. There's your wisdom 101 for you. I'm not going to read that verse. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You ever hear History 101, such and such 101? It's a reference to that verse. John chapter 10, verse 1. Look it up. There won't always be some idiot that's going to tell you these things. Anyway, when you look within, you're able to learn a whole lot of stuff. And that's all I've ever done. I've soul searched. I kind of figured if I got to a point where I figured anything out, I'd know it by the fruits of my labor. I'd feel loved. Unfortunately, I feel ashamed. I feel guilty. I feel like a moron. And I feel like I've let a lot of society down because for the amount of potential, for the amount of different skill sets in my vast repertoire that I've acquired, I should be able to do so much. And I seemingly can wilt away and die. And for lack of a better way of explaining it, it seems to be the only thing that I'm good at. Oh, let me share my link out there with some people. I know I'm being shadow banned. I'm on restriction. I'm not really allowed to interact with others and all that good stuff. And but I think it's important whenever a person feels the notion that they do come from the heart and they do say it like it is. I would I would hope that everything be okay. But just as much as I hope that everything would be okay for me, things might not be. All right. About very much out. All right. Okay. All I'm trying to do is share a video. All right. Go to my channel. And for any of my haters out there, I'm still sitting here at 7223 Russell Hollow Road, Maryville, Tennessee, 37801. I say that because there is nothing, I literally mean nothing, that I'll ever say or do that I'm not man enough to say or do right to your face, whoever, wherever, why ever you are. I'm not saying that because I'm any kind of badass. I'm saying that because you always got those people that. I'm saying that because. So, apologies for that. You've always got those people that accuse someone of being a keyboard warrior, accuse somebody of being this, being that. I'm not any of those things. And I don't want to take, if I was to die today, I don't want to take anything from this place with me. Meaning, I don't want to have any hostilities. I don't want to have any grudges. I don't want to take any anger. I don't want to take any of it. I've been wronged in innumerable ways. Huh. Comcast has cost me Well, I get hacked into 1,000 times a day. Everybody knows that, though. That's no big deal. I don't want to fight anyone. I want to love everyone. I want to love everything. That is where I'm most comfortable. And but I'm at that point where I don't perceive a a move that I can make that won't either result in a further stalemate or an outright loss for me. That sounds to some like maybe I'm giving up. I'm not. But until I have something credible that is sincerely beneficial to me to do, there's nothing else I want to do. You see, in the real world, life isn't what you make it. In the real world, you're going to tell your kids, you can be whatever you want to be. In actuality, they can't. In actuality, they can choose from the choices that are put in front of them. If you go out here and you're a good law abiding citizen, doesn't break the law, will you go to jail? Maybe. I was in the hospital getting my hand worked on. I've had reconstructive surgery done on my left thumb. I sustained 15 or 20 what they referred to as a boxer fracture. I had broken my thumb so many times that as a young adult, it got to be where I couldn't even hold a cup in my hand. I'd go to pick something up, it would just fall. Well, I had one of my stints in jail over some bullshit. The day I get out of jail, my mother picks me up from the jail and she takes me to the hospital and they start the proceedings to deal with my thumb. I ultimately had reconstructive surgery done on it and everything. A month prior to that, I had a lucid moment while high. I was sitting there, I was eating a beautiful breakfast. You know, the big all you can eat breakfast bar at Shoney's. I used to love that. I don't recall if you could still smoke at that time, but anyway, my mother and me, we were sitting there eating breakfast. I had spent, I don't know, probably $7,000-8,000 on dope over the course of about 2 weeks' time. And I had probation, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm stressing. I'm like, man, how the hell do you go from doing a couple $1,000s in dope and then go to probation? And it ain't just one probation. I mean, I had county probation, I had state probation. I mean, this might not go well for me. But I was in a good mood. You see, I had been working on fixing My mom's car. Her car got totaled, and because the age of the car, if I fixed it, it still had a clean title and everything. It was like it'd be like a new car. I look in my pocket. I start counting money. I got a couple $1,000s in my pocket. Uh, I'm figuring up some math, and I didn't know exactly. I told my mom. I said, Mom, if I might need you to loan me a couple $100, but when we get done eating, if we go to the courthouse, I can pay off everything, and for the first time in 25 years, I won't owe nothing. I'll be off probation, state and county. I'll have everything paid off. She supported me for once. I went to the courthouse, and I was so proud. I mean, I was sincerely proud. I got hang your head high, walking all tall, chest poked out, and the jailers, they all know me and stuff. So I get to the courthouse and they're laughing. What, Heath, you missed court again? You better not have a warrant. We'll put your ass down in that jail. I'm like, no, motherfuckers, not today. Not today. I walked up to that clerk and I said, I want to pay all my fines. And she kind of rolls her eyes and shrugs. All right, Mr. Bettag, what do you want to pay on? Which one of them? How much you paying? And I just looked at her. I said, I want to pay everything. I want to pay every single case off. If there's a case that you have that you can jail me over, I want to pay it off. Hopefully, you'll leave me enough money because I got to go, when I get out of here, I got to go pay probation off too. I'm done with all y'all. I'm done. She hands me a receipt. I said, does that mean that we're even? Am I free to go? She said, oh, well, you still owe blah, 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 but those are civil cases. And yeah, that's what I thought. We're even. Fuck you. I won't cause no problems no more. But fuck y'all. We're severing this tie right now. Y'all don't own me. It might have took me 30 years to become a man, but y'all don't own me no more. 28 days later, my mother had cooked me a steak for breakfast. I'm in my boxer shorts and I'm standing by the sliding doors and I see an AR-15 walking around my trailer. I don't give a fuck who it is. You don't walk around my motherfucking trailer with no assault rifle. There's kids. I live in a trailer park, and it's owned by kinfolk and shit, and we got kids and stuff. I don't give a fuck if you're a cop or not. You don't walk around my motherfucking trailer in the broad daylight with an assault rifle like you all big and bad and shit, because I'll break your fucking neck. So I walk out there. Excuse me, dude. You got a problem? You need to be. I need to nothing. You need to get that fucking gun out of your face, and you need to go tell your buddy wherever the fuck he's at. Y'all need to come out of the hiding. Call your little bitch ass little fucking cronies too. Bring them out. And then my heart sank because the one that gets to play the good cop, good cop, bad cop, is a cop I had known for 20 years. So Mr. Neal walks up to me. And I'm literally in tears. I'm crying. I said, man, I ain't done nothing. I've not done nothing. I've not done nothing. He said, we got 2 warrants for your arrest for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Allegedly, 3 weeks prior, I pulled some type of an automatic looking weapon on my neighbor and his old lady, a Mr. John Neal of Maple Lane Trailer Park, Greenback, Tennessee. His old lady is I don't know, Roger Williams' sister. Her name is Angela. I don't know if it's Angela Williams. I think it's Angela Hampton. I don't know if, but anyway, $50,000 cash bond. Huh. I told Mr. Neal, I was like, you know I'm innocent. You know. Don't do this to me, man. Please don't do this to me. He looks at me and he's shaking and shit. You can tell that he knows like it's fucked up. He said, I can't do nothing about it. How the fuck can you not do nothing about it? When I got out of fucking jail last time, I went straight to the fucking hospital. And based on what you're saying in that fucking warrant right there, I was in a fucking hospital when this shit happened. So you know I'm innocent. And plus, it don't make sense. So you're saying I pull an automatic weapon on some people and y'all just let me sit here for a month and then you arrest me a month later? That don't make no fucking sense. This sounds like a setup, don't it? I gave him every chance I could. I was like, please, man, don't. Because see, I know me, and I know that forevermore I'd want to kill that man. They arrested me. I was held cash bond, $50,000. I had and here's the fucked up part. I had just over 7 pounds of pot that was ready to harvest that week, growing, actively growing in my motherfucking bedroom. I took the sliding glass door because I had to go in and get dressed. I opened it real wide. Mr. Neal came right into the motherfucking front the threshold. I said, come on, man. I mean, if you're going to arrest me for something I've done. Don't arrest me for something that you know never happened. He would have had, I know he could smell it, but that wasn't why they were there. They were there to make a point. You think you just going to clean up? You think you just going to all of a sudden be a family man, raise your daughter, pay bills, and be a productive member of society? It don't work like that. We own you. And that's what they were there to do, prove that point. And that's what they did. And that's the real world, folks. A week and a half later, I had an attorney. They appointed me an attorney from Knox County, Tennessee. He was some rich Jewish boy. I was his first big case. He broke down into tears. He said, I don't know what to do. He said, I can't fire you. You have to fire me. I can't try this case. And I said, what is your problem, man? He says, you're in it. He said, I can't represent somebody that's innocent and is going to plead to something that never happened. And I put my hand on his. I said, look, dude, it'll be all right, you know? I mean, this is the way it works sometimes. Maybe I'm paying for something that I did a long time ago. You know? I don't know that. I'm just saying maybe, you know. District attorney, she comes in there. She knew I was innocent. I made some kind of a comment about the fact that, you know, this is bullshit. And her words to me were, Mr. Bettag, do you really think that your innocence matters here? Do you really think that that's the way the law works? I couldn't really say nothing because I know that's not how it works. You see, that judge, he's wearing a black robe. Do you know the name of that robe? That robe is called a mourning robe. You see, Lady Justice is blind because there is no justice in that court. There is no justice as you perceive justice to be. You see, there's all kind of games. We got basketball games, tennis games. There's all kinds of courts in the world. When you walk into that courtroom, you're not going to win that game unless it's established long before you ever walk into that courtroom. The worst thing you can do is have either an attorney or a lawyer to represent you, because that makes you a ward. You know the legal definition of a ward? It's an imbecile. It's someone not capable of thinking for themselves. And the reason that is because that judge, them lawyers, them fiduciaries, them bailiffs, they know it's a rigged system. They know how to play the game. And if you get to walk in there and ask them for some shit, whether it's justice, whether it's money, whether it's to side in your favor, then you need to have respect enough for that court and that game to know how the game's played. So if you're not already worked out the deal to your benefit before that court, fuck you. And that is how it is. District attorney tells me, I'm going to write down on this piece of paper what you can plead to and how much of your time it's going to cost you and how much of your money it's going to cost you. And you will take that deal. Didn't you just have a mother that just got out of the hospital with cancer? Oh, yes, you will take that deal. And if you refuse, we will not give you a bond reduction. You can go back and sit in that jail, Blount County, Tennessee. And we'll see you in about a year. And in a year from now, we're asking for 25 to life. Knowing all the times they've beat me in front of my mother, 30 of them, because I was attempting to walk down the street. I went to jail for aggravated assault on an officer, 4 counts on that one. 30 of them beat me, broke my arm and everything. I knew what she was saying was truthful. I pled, not only did I plead to a crime I didn't do, I pled to an incident that never existed. And nobody cared. Nobody in the town cared. Nobody in my family. It was kind of an easy choice to make, though, because I was already broken. You see, I had my daughter stolen from me a year prior. That's right, I said I had my daughter stolen from me. I had full custody of my daughter. And for the first time in my life, everything was perfect. I was getting along with my mom. I was getting along with my sister. I'd go to work all day. And when I'd get done working my first job, I'd go with my boss he did boat docks, and I'd work in the evening too. Yeah. It was all right though, because I come home and my daughter would run up to me and stuff, and her mother had went to jail, and anyway, her mother had gotten out, and a Department of Children's Services worker called me. Now I knew that legally, fuck them people. I legally didn't have to even talk to them. I could tell them to suck my dick, hang up the phone, and not even think twice about it. And at first, that's exactly what I was doing. Fuck you, bitch. Why the fuck you calling me for? I ain't got nothing to say to you motherfuckers. But no, I couldn't do that. You see, if I did that, then that makes me just like them. But worse. You see, I was raised in state custody. And I don't know how to tell you how bad it feels when you got a little overnight bag packed and you live like 7-8 hours from home. Yeah, sorry about that. You live 7-8 hours from home, and you know that your only chance to go home is if your father will come and you can get a home visit. And I'd get a home visit about every 3 to 6 months. No, he ain't going to show up. And you're sitting there. And then someone breaks the news to you. Yeah. Not for you. You ain't getting no visit. I know that pain. I could not, with a clear conscience, and put my daughter through that. You see, I'm always striving to be the change that I want to see in the world. I don't say them words. I live those words. So this, like any other, was my chance to shine. And I did the right thing. I agreed to meet with him the next day. The next day, I go in there, and my daughter's mother had gotten out of jail and blah, blah, blah. And they were talking about visits, and I didn't want to listen to no bullshit. My daughter's mother, at that point, she had already placed my kids in a compromising situation, and we had lost them to the state for shit that fucking. And I fought the state. Me and we put on a united front, and we got the kids back. Now here she is, fucking to put them in jeopardy again. I said, look, I don't want to hear none of y'all shit. I don't want to waste no fucking time in here with y'all. I'll tell you what. Before I'll even entertain a notion of any kind of visitation or this or that or whatever the fuck, we all need to take some drug tests. I will pay for them. I got money, cash in pocket right now. Let's all take a drug test. And the lesbian fucking ain't never had no kids, probably never will. DCS worker. She said, now, Mr. Bettag, no one said not taking drug testing. No. Usually you motherfuckers, everybody's always attacking me. And I get a chance to fucking do right, man. Fuck y'all, man. Let's take some drug test. I mean, she's been in jail for a month. Surely she can pass a drug test. I'll go first. That made her mad. So the DCS worker gets up and she's like, we'll see about this, Mr. Bettag. We go out in the hall, and I should have known because she hands me a specimen cup, And it's not in a container. It's not in a packaging. It's already open and shit. Now, my ego. Huh, that bitch was doing what the fuck I said. I knew it was stupid. I fucking knew. But I was the big man in charge. Magically, I failed that drug test for every single thing they test for. The case manager's manager said that she had never seen a drug test like that. She didn't even know that was possible. I took my daughter. I thought, I've been working. The one thing I'm good at is being a dad. This is bullshit. I had my mom take me to the emergency room. I had them do a full toxicology screen on me. We did blood and urine. I didn't even fail it for pot. And I had smoked a roach of a joint like 2 days earlier. But I didn't even fail it for pot. I went to court 3 days later and they put it off for 6 months. 6 months turned into a year, turned into a year and a half, the state took my daughter from me. And you see, what's so bad about that is I've been in and out of state custody. I was sodomized. I was fucking beat. Not only did I go through all that, I turn around and let the same fucking shit happen to my kids. And that pretty much, that was the death of me right there. So their little gun charge a year and a half later, I'll kiss some ass to get out for my mom's sake. And the point to all this is nothing is even remotely like any of us have ever been taught. Everything's a fucking lie. All of it. I don't want to die, but I've never gotten to live either. Sometimes it was because of my choices. Most times it was not. And I'm alone and miserable. And nothing I seem to do changes that. So I'm prepared to die. And I don't want any grudges or hostilities left over from this hell that this has been following me when my soul leaves here. I'm not fighting anyone anymore. I'm not mad. But I just want to be left alone.